You can also help out with the youth group on that mission trip. Amy, would you think that would be a good thing for people to participate in that youth trip?
Absolutely, and I would encourage each and every one of you, come. It's a wonderful experience, both spiritually and physically. And here's the best part for the ladies. You eat and eat and eat, and I lost weight.
Hey, how about that?
And I wasn't eating diet food.
There's a lot of good work.
It was good work. It was phenomenal fellowship and growth in Christ. Dealing with not only the youth that were there, but the adults. It really, I found it very enriching and supportive.
Very good. Lisa, you want to say something?
We have a lot of people in your videos, the video series you're doing for the 140th, show people engaged in individual mission work. Mm-hmm. Clearly mission work, but they're not, it's not sanctioned UMC mission work. Can that ever be counted toward this? Like Mike Lavatol with Navigators.
Right.
And the Cohans with their work, and the Brentnalls.
I believe it's specific to the local church that they say this is good work and we love it and we want you to encourage your people to continue to participate in those areas. For the purposes of vital congregations, they measure what's coming out of the local church. I believe that's very specific. They say it's good work, keep doing it, that's important. Also, we want to measure what's coming out of your local church.
So I would ask you, Wayne, to take back to the conferences or wherever you're going, because don't you ultimately want to encourage the local churches to be engaged like they are, not just as a unit of the church, but as individual disciples out in the world? And that's what I'm talking about. These are individual disciples who are clearly doing disciple work out in the world.
And the answer is yes.
Yes. So, but I would talk to them about how to measure that as part of this, because I would think a vital congregation creates more of those than just sanctioned mission work.
You're right, and there actually is a way we're trying to measure that as well.
Great.
That's already been under discussion.
Great.
And I just want to mention about just one other mission opportunity. We're going to do a district day in May, I forget the exact date now, for Hurricane Sandy. We're going to, as a district, we're going to volunteer and go do a day of work for Hurricane Sandy. So you'll get more information on that as May starts to approach.
Yeah, and I believe that was sent out to a few people, that email that I got, that I forwarded on to a few. So yeah, a good opportunity for the district. The last one, generosity for ministry, and this is the overall amount of money that is not going to pay for the local church. This is what's going out into the world to do mission work in our community, in our world. A part of that, they consider the apportionment payments, the fair share giving, as a part of that generosity for mission, because there are that money goes to fund that work through the United Methodist Church. We don't necessarily see it here in the local church outside of Wayne and an occasional visit from our bishop, but very much so that money that we give to the conference that goes to support things like World Service Fund. There's a lot of really wonderful things that we support through our apportionments. So that's an important measure as well.
Including the conference camps that our children use every summer.
Sure.
So that's one very, very tangible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there's a lot of good things that supports. Okay, so our church's key questions in how we're going to respond to this. This is you can read my pastor's report in there. So I'm not going to go into great detail on this, and we're going to have more conversation. The 3 questions up there are about making disciples, being Christ-centered, and meeting the needs of people. So here it is. How will we make disciples in this next year, in 2014? The things I've looked at, things I've identified, are small group participation and demonstrating vital personal faith. So here are some things that we're doing in the pastor's report. You'll see this. Create an introductory study. I've been working with Ed, and we need to get back on this to make this happen for 2014. An introductory study that's for everyone in the church, sort of a back to basics 101 kind of study for everybody to participate as a way to jumpstart people who are new to our church, maybe people on the margins, and also for people that have been here for a long time that maybe, they haven't done much beyond participate in Sunday morning worship. A way to help kickstart that discipleship process. Another one, Disciple Bible Study. I'm so excited for Disciple Bible Study. Lisa's participating in Emmaus, and we'll see if that might be a good way for us to plug people in for this process of discipleship. And then another one that I want to do in 2014, Congregational Challenges in Spiritual Discipline. So connecting some of the series that we have, maybe we're doing Galatians for 3 weeks. Encouraging the congregation, go home, read through Galatians 10 times over the next month and see how God speaks through regularly going back and reading through that whole book. What are you discerning? What are you drawing out of the scriptures as you participate in this instructional piece, this spiritual discipline of reading the scriptures? The next area, how will our committees and ministries be more Christ-centered? And these questions, by the way, these 3 questions, they've come out of our conversation with SBRC. So we've identified some needs in 2014. That's the starting point for this. How will our committees and ministries be more Christ-centered? We're looking at effectiveness of our lay leaders and demonstrating personal faith. 2 things I've identified: incorporate spiritual practices in our administrative meetings, so to have a portion of those meetings every time we gather together. We have potentially prayer, a brief devotional, reading some scripture, things that we can do that center us first and foremost on Christ. And then what I'd like to do in January of 2014, as each of our administrative committees meets and our ministry meetings meet, what I'd like to do is have an orientation for our new members to the committee. So we'll take that first 20 minutes, first half hour, as we reincorporate as the trustees, as we gather together with SPRC and we have new members there, to say, okay, here's our purpose, here's what we're trying to accomplish, here's what we're going to agree together as a committee. Here are our guidelines, our rules of behavior. Our trustees, Timmy, I don't mean to pick on you on this one, but our trustees often have 2.5, 3-hour meetings, right? We have a lot of work. Sometimes we meet for a long time. What I'd like to do is sit down at the beginning, 2014, and say, what is a reasonable amount of time for this committee to meet? Is 2.5, 3 hours fair? And our trustees may say, yeah, we got a lot of work that we have to accomplish. That's fine. And our SPRC group, they might say, well, 2.5 hours, are you kidding me? No way. 1 hour is an appropriate amount of time for SPRC to meet, right? So getting some clear guidelines. What are the rules? What are fair things for us to say? How do we speak the truth in love to one another, instead of ragging on each other and hurting each other with some of the words that we say? You know, is the parking lot conversation, is that okay? Is that a right way for us to function as a committee? Or should we really make these things happen with each other in the committee meeting together? So to have that conversation, set some good, clear guidelines for how our committees will function and move forward together with everybody on the same page. I know I talked a lot on that one. Sorry, people. Okay, number 3. How will we meet the deepest needs of our community and our world? And we're looking at children and youth ministry, the mentoring lay leadership, and setting and achieving significant goals. So I have quite a list on this one. Here's some things. Strengthen ministries to our children and youth. One thing that we have done is our confirmation class, to model that on what our youth ministry does. It's during the 7th and 8th grade years. Hopefully that will build a better connection from our children's ministry into that mid-years and then heading into our youth group. So my hope is next year you see a difference in how our 7th and 8th graders are connecting into the church overall when they hit 9th grade and 10th grade. Do we see more of our young people plugging in and participating in worship and in the life of our church? I want that number to go up. That's very important in us being a vital congregation, that we hold on to our young people from 0 all the way to 12th grade, that when they go off into college, they very well may go somewhere else, but that they have a good, solid foundation that our church has given to them. Another thing, seek new opportunities to minister to the community, especially to our aging adults. How are we in ministry with these people? And I've been working with Ellen on some of these things. What are new ways that we can be in ministry to our community, especially our aging adults? I have a list, if you ever come into my office, that says what the world's needs are. Here they are. The water crisis, poverty and sanitation, pollution and environmental issues, political strife, and number 5, a lack of education. These are the world's greatest needs. How will we as a congregation be engaged, involved in these needs that go beyond our local church, go beyond our region, that go across the world? This is who we are called to be as Christians. We identify the greatest needs in the world and we do something meaningful about it. So I think some of our gifts as a church are in the areas of education. We have some teachers. We have a lot of knowledge in our congregation. Poverty. We live in a wealthy community. We have money to help people and deal with issues of poverty. And disease. We have people in the healthcare industry, Carol, who can do something about this. We had Beth Enriquez a few years ago. She went to Haiti. She works in a hospital. She went down to Haiti and helped right after the earthquake. That is an amazing thing. I would have loved to have seen people in connection through UMVIM, the United Methodist Volunteers in Ministry, in connection with that, go down to Haiti. We have people that go every year down there. Do some of the people that are in the healthcare industry that are connected in that way, would they like to go down and do more work down in Haiti? I think these are prime opportunities for us. We do June Project. We have a small fund that's going to a hospital in Haiti. We have the Future with Hope campaign that we'll be working on in 2014 and beyond. But the real question is, what are we going to do as a congregation? What will you do?